In this box is the new Aipas F3. And in this video, we're gonna put it together. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, give yourself some room to work, and let's get into it. We are going to take a look and see how well this is packed so that you know what to expect. There are a lot of staples in the box. We're just gonna grab a side here and pull hard. There we go. Easy breezy. All right, you are gonna have your accessory box right here at the top. Make sure you put that somewhere else. As you can see, the bike is packed pretty well. Now this is a smaller and lighter bike. We can just remove a couple of things and just lift the bike up and pull it out of the box. Or we can do what I like to do and just open up these parts of the box so that you can easily get to the bike. If you have a knife or whatever, you can use that. Me, I just use my hand. This is all the packing material that is on this bike to help protect it. And this is everything that comes in the box. You have your bike itself. This is your front tire. Then this is your front fender. Here is a toolkit that'll give you all the tools to put this bike together. You have some pedals, a charger for the battery, and a padded seat. So the first thing we want to do is we want to put our stem and handlebars in together. There's a little notch, a groove right in here. And look, you can see there is a groove in this stem as well. So what we need to do is we need to make sure this is loose. We're going to put this in. You can only do it one way, and that is because of that groove. So you're going to lock that in there. You're going to make sure your brake handles are going that way, and then just use your quick release. Once you have the handlebar in place, make sure you go ahead and close the stem, and then we're going to lock it into place and then put on that safety tab. Now we're going to install the seat. Right here is your quick release seat post. There is a dial right here on this side that you can tighten so that it becomes tighter, because whenever you put your seat in here and you clamp it, it should stay. If not, just tighten this dial and do it again. For our next step, we are going to turn the bike upside down. As you can see, I put the seat out very far so that it sits level, and now we're going to install the front wheel. This will be the first time that you have to reach inside your toolkit, and we're going to grab a wrench. This piece right here is only used for shipping. We don't need it for anything else. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take it off. Now use this wrench that has the number 13 on it. It's going to be loose, so you're going to have to put your finger on here so that it grips a little bit. It's a little bit big for this bolt, but we're going to just loosen both sides here. Maybe loosen this side up. And then just slide it out. This wrench doesn't really work. It probably should have been a 12, but you can make it happen. This is your front tire. It's going to have two protective sheaths on it. This one right here just pops right off. You can get rid of that. And then this side right here has more like a sleeve, and we're just going to slowly pull that off. And there you go. When it comes to installing this front wheel, there's going to be a nut and a washer on each side, and that's what this little washer looks like right here. You're going to remove them on both. Make sure you don't put your hands on this brake rotor because you don't want to put your body oils on it. So remove them from both sides and we'll put her on. Right here is your front brake, and there is a slot in between these two pads where you're going to place the front rotor inside of. Now let's insert the rotor in between those pads, and now we can just drop the wheel into the fork. Let's secure the wheel to the front fork. We're going to start off with this washer right here. As you can see, this tab is going that way. Let's go ahead and put that in there like that. There is a hole that will connect in there to keep the wheel from coming out. Then we are just going to put our nut on, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now that we have the nuts on there, we're going to go ahead and tighten it up. Grab your number 15 right here, and then we're just going to tighten it while bringing it towards your body and away from the bike on this side and towards the rear of the bike on this side. Now that we have the front tire installed, let's go ahead and see if the brakes are rubbing. You do that by just spinning the tire. You see how quick that stopped? That tells me that the brakes are rubbing against the rotor. Let's go ahead and adjust it. There are only two bolts that we are interested in adjusting. We're going to loosen this one right here and this one right here. They don't need to be super loose, but you do want it to where this brake will move back and forth. Now that we have the brake calipers loosened, you should be able to spin the tire and it spins more freely, but you can still hear it hitting. Let me show you the trick. Down here is your front brake lever. We're going to make sure that we're going to spin the wheel, then we're going to squeeze this brake lever and hold it, and then we're just going to tighten up the two bolts that we loosened in the first place. Tighten, hold, and now tighten it up. Now that it's tight, we're going to go ahead and release the brake handle and see if it solved our problem. Now you can hear that it's still hitting just a little bit, so let's do some further adjustments. Not sure how good you can see this, but we're going to give it a shot. Right here is your brake rotor, but I can see that this pad is touching on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a small adjustment, and by doing that, we're just going to loosen this top bolt ever so slightly, and you'll have to do it to the bottom one, just like a quarter of a turn, because I just need enough room. You see that move? This is the part that we need to move. And we're going to take a look and see, and now we're too much on the other side. So we're going to use our hands and adjust it. See, I can push it both this way and that way. And now you can see it's adjusted. These fine adjustments will just help you tune everything in so you don't have any issues with the brakes. Go ahead and tighten that up. We're good to go. Now it is in time to install the front fender and the light. I just like to slide it through the back right here. This tab is going to connect right here, and then these two side arms are going to connect on the side of the fork. Go ahead and grab your wrench, and we are just going to remove this bolt. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Line up the arms to the hole right here, and then we're just going to use these bolts, and we're going to hand tighten them for now. Now go ahead and remove this front bolt. Grab your headlight. We're going to run the bolt through this part right here, and then we're going to run it through the tab on the fender. You're going to want to move that light out of your way. You might fumble around with it for a little bit, but you'll get it. There we go. Now we're just going to start to tighten this up. When it starts to get tightened, I like to lift the fender all the way up to the top, and then we're just going to tighten it a little bit more. As you can see, the headlight starting to tighten, and now we can start adjusting things. Once we get it the way we want it, we're just going to tighten it down. Now go back and tighten these two side arms. It is time to put on the pedals. As you can see on this crank here, it says R for right. And then if you take a look at your pedals, you have a green L and a red R. So now we know that this pedal is going to go on this crank. I'm going to go ahead and take the stickers off because now we don't need them. You should do the same. Whenever you put the pedal onto the crank, you're going to turn it towards the front of the bike. You're going to turn it towards your front wheel. And it doesn't matter which side, both sides are going to go towards the front. Then you're going to grab your 15 wrench, and we're just going to finish tightening it up. Once you're done with this, do it to the other side. When you get the bike, your tires are going to not be inflated. And right here on the side, it says inflate to 35 pounds. Since we have a full suspension bike, that's what we're going to do. We're going to inflate each tire to 35 pounds. It is now time for the most satisfying part, and that's where you get to read all your warning stickers and remove them. So satisfying. Make sure you cut off your warranty card. Go ahead and scan that and register your bike so that it has a warranty. And here are your keys. Cut them off as well. Look, if I was you, I would separate these two keys, because if you lose one key, you lose them both unless they're separated. Now that your bike is assembled, you're going to want to set it up to where it is comfortable for you. If your handlebars are too far forward or too far back, there are these 4 bolts right here that you're going to loosen up. Get them in the position you need to, and then tighten them back up. Before you can power up the bike, you have to insert your key down through this key slot down below and give it a turn, and now you can power up your bike. That is it. We did it. We did this thing together, and we got it knocked out. Now, the only thing left to do is charge your battery before you head out and enjoy this bike. Well, that's it, guys. I want to thank you for watching. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride.